Hey guys, Guarantina3501 here. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm doing this new series called Creepypasta Storytime, where I read some creepypastas. Yes, I am a creepypasta fan, just to tell you. We're reading Jeff the Killer, one of the most famous creepypastas, the whole entire website. If I can't do this in one video, if I can't, I'll do part two because I'm kind of a slow reader. So let's start. Ominous unknown killer is still at large. After weeks of unexplained murders, the ominous unknown killer is still at the rise. After little evidence has been found, a young boy states that he survived one of the killer's attacks and bravely tells his story. I had a bad dream and I woke up at the middle of the night, says the boy. I saw that for some reason the window was open, even though I remember it being closed before I went to bed. I got up, shut it once more. Afterwards, I simply crawled under my covers and tried to go back to sleep. That's when I had a strange feeling, like someone was watching me. I looked up and nearly jumped out of my bed. There, in the little ray of light illuminating from between my curtains, were a pair of two eyes. They weren't regular eyes. They were dark and ominous eyes. Dark and ominous eyes. They were boarded in black and just plain out terrified me. That's when I saw his mouth. A long, horrendous smile that made every hair on my body stand up. The figure stood there, watching me. Finally, it seemed like forever, he said it. A simple phrase, but in a way only a madman could speak. He said, "Go to sleep." I let out a scream. That's what sent him at me. He pulled up a knife, aiming at my heart. He jumped on top of my bed. I fought him back. I kicked, I punched, I rolled around, trying to knock him off me. That's when my dad busted in. The man threw the knife. It went to my dad's shoulder. The man probably would have finished him off if one of the neighbors hadn't alerted the police. They drove into the parking lot and ran towards the door. The man turned and ran down the hallway. I heard a smash, like glass breaking. As I came out of my room, I saw that the window that was pointing towards the back of my house was broken. I looked out it to see him vanish into the distance. I could tell you one thing. I will never forget that face, those cold, evil eyes, that psychotic smile. They will never leave my head. Police are still on the look for this man. If you see anyone that fits the description in this story, please contact your local police department. Okay, now let's start the real creepypasta. Jeff and his family had just moved to a new neighborhood. His dad had gotten a promotion at work. They thought it would be best to live in one of those fancy neighborhoods. Jeff and his brother Lou couldn't complain, though. A new, better house. What was not to love? As they were getting unpacked, one of their neighbors came by. "Hello," she said. "I'm Barbara. I live across the street from you. Well, I just wanted to introduce myself and to introduce my son." She turns around and calls her son over. "Billy, these are new neighbors." Billy said hi and ran back to play in his yard. "Well," said Jeff's mom, "I'm Margaret, and this is my husband, Peter, and my two sons, Jeff and Lou." They each introduced themselves, and then Barbara invited them to her son's birthday. Jeff and his brother were about to object when their mother said that they would love to. When Jeff and his family are done unpacking, I don't know, Jeff went up to his mom. "Mom, why do you invite us to some kid's party? If you haven't noticed, I'm not some dumb kid," Jeff said his mother. "We just moved here. We should show that we want to spend time with our neighbors. Now, we're going to that party, and that's final." Jeff started to talk, but he stopped himself, knowing that he couldn't do anything. Whenever his mom said something, it was final. He walked up to his room and plopped down on his bed. He sat there, looking at the ceiling, when suddenly he got a weird feeling. Not so much a pain, but a weird feeling. He dismissed it as some random feeling. He heard his mother call him down to get his stuff, and he walked down to get it. The next day, Jeff walked downstairs to get breakfast and got ready for school. As he sat there eating his breakfast, once again, he got that feeling. This time it was stronger. It gave him a slight tugging pain, but once again, he dismissed it. As he and Lou finished breakfast, they walked down to the bus stop. They sat there waiting for the bus, and then all of a sudden some kid on a skateboard jumped over them, only inches above their laps. They both jumped back in surprise. Hey, what the hell? The kid landed and turned back to them. He kicked the skateboard up and caught it with his hands. The kid seemed to be about 12, 1 year younger than Jeff. He wears a... Okay, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. Shirt and ripped blue jeans. Well, it looks like we got some new meat. Suddenly, the two other kids appeared. One super skinny and the other one was huge. Well, since you're new here, I'd like to introduce ourselves. Over there is Keith. Jeff and Lou looked over to the skinny kid. He had a dopey face that you would expect from a sidekick to have. And here's Troy. They looked over at the fat kid. Talk about a tub of lard. The kid looked like he hadn't exercised since he was crawling. And I, said the first kid, I'm Randy. Now, for all the kids in this neighborhood, there's a small price for a bus fare, if you catch my drift. Lou stood up, ready to punch the lights out of this kid's eyes, when one of his friends pulled a knife at him. Tisk, tisk, tisk. I had hoped you would be more cooperative, but it seems we must do this the hard way. The kid walked up to Lou and took his wallet out of his pocket. Jeff got that feeling again. Now it was truly strong. A burning sensation. He stood up, but Lou gestured him to sit down. Jeff ignored him and walked up to the kid. Listen there, you little punk. Give back my brother's wallet or else. Randy put the wallet in his pocket and pulled out his own knife. Oh, and what will you do? Just as he finished his sentence, Jeff popped the kid in the nose. As Randy reached for his face, Jeff grabbed the kid's wrist and broke it. Randy screamed, and Jeff grabbed the knife from his hand. Tori and Keith rushed Jeff, but Jeff was too quick. He threw Randy to the ground. Keith lashed out at him, but Jeff ducked and stabbed him in the arm. Keith dropped his knife and fell to the ground, screaming. Tori rushed too, but Jeff didn't even need the knife. He just punched Tori straight in the stomach, and Tori went down. As he fell, he puked all over. Lou could do nothing but look at the amazement at Jeff. Jeff, how do you... That all was said. That's all what he was said. I forget it. They saw the bus coming and knew they'd be blamed for the whole thing, so they'd start running as fast as they could. As they ran, they looked back and saw the bus driver rushing over to Randy and the others. Jeff and Lou made it to school. They didn't dare to tell what happened. All they did was sit and listen. Lou just thought of as his brother beating up a few kids, but Jeff knew it was more. It was something scary. As he got that feeling again, and how he got that feeling, he felt how powerful it was. Just the urge to just hurt someone